like when it's all said and done, what will you look back and be happy that you did or didn't do?
Welcome to the Marvelous Moms Club podcast. Discover yourself, break out of mediocrity, and become the mom you've always aspired to be. Here's your host, Kirsten Tyrell.
Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast today. I'm so excited. I'm chatting with the beautiful Elizabeth Riley. She came highly recommended again from a past guest, beautiful Jessica, who has sent me a wonderful array of women. So welcome, Elizabeth. I'm so excited.
Well, thank you. And I love Jessica. She is one of my favorites. So
isn't she the best? Yeah.
She is. Yep.
Start by telling us how many kids you have, ages, stages, whatever you want to share.
You bet. So we have 2 boys right now, Matthew, who is 6, and Abe, who is 3. And then I am having another baby boy in August.
Oh my gosh.
So we got the boy thing going on, which
so
makes me laugh because I am like probably the opposite of boy stuff. I mean, I'm like feminine, like I love like the classics. I love Jane Austen, and I have boys who love cars and dirt and, lizards and
oh my gosh.
Not me, but I'm learning and I love it. They're fun. It's a ton of fun.
That's so fun. My first 2 were boys as well, and it was the same. I grew up with all sisters, oldest of 4 girls, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with this energy. I don't know what to do with this technical stuff. They love keys and building, and oh my gosh, it's so fun. But it's definitely a different world for moms who just have boys.
It is. Yeah, it really is. So I'm just learning, and it's fun. And it's so funny. I was with my mother-in-law the other day, and my son Matthew, the 6-year-old, was telling me about some features of a car. Like, he really, really loves cars. And he was asking me a question, do you want to see this engine part or something like that? And I'm like, yeah, you what I do. My mother-in-law just laughed. She said, you're learning to
speak
embrace
boy.
It.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Okay, so you're a homeschool mom, which I was kind of telling you this before. I feel like there are so many more now than there used to be. And I know there's so many reasons for that, but tell me kind of why you decided to go that route.
Yeah, it's funny. So right after we got married, we found out we were expecting our son Matthew. And I remember talking to my husband about school. Like, I had kind of had this idea that I wanted to do something different from public school. Even when I was in high school, when I was in public school, I felt like I either wanted to start a school or do private school or something like that. Anyway, we were talking, and he said, I was saying, it'd be great if we could find a cool private school, like Montessori or something like that. That would be a really fun thing. And he said, well, what about homeschool? And I just was like, I didn't know anyone who homeschooled. And my first thought was, that's like weird. And like, is that socially awkward? I just heard, it just seemed kind of weird to me or whatever.
Yeah.
So a couple years passed, and we had these friends, and the husband, he was homeschooled growing up, and he was totally normal. Like, he told us, like, they read a lot. He said we would go to the library a lot and do that. And anyway, so that got me thinking more. By that time, I think Matthew was maybe 2 or 3, so he still had, time to figure things out and so forth. And then I don't know what it was. I started just doing a lot of reading and thinking, and really got so excited about homeschooling, just about the freedom involved, about the opportunity to be right there with my kids learning and watch them grow and develop. To be able to decide what they learn and how they learn things. Like, education's always just been just such a big deal to me personally. And so for me, it's really exciting to be able to share that love for learning with my kids. And then the other thing is like, the sky's like the limit with what you can do with it. Like, it's you can do whatever fits your family, fits what your goals are. And anyway, so that's kind of how we got into it. And it was kind of a gradual process for us. It wasn't like an all at once thing, but It has been. I honestly, I love it. I love it wholeheartedly. It is so, it takes a little bit to get into the rhythm of it.
Mm-hmm.
First, I was like, how do you do that? Like, how do you manage the time, first of all? Because I already felt like really busy with just taking care of kids and house and like, other responsibilities outside of that, other things that I like to be involved in. And I remember hearing some wise words from a woman, and she was a Christian woman, and now I just forgot her name. Her first name is Robin. She's in Colorado, and I don't know her personally. She came to my feed through Instagram, and she had mentioned something. I posted something, and she had mentioned something about how, how simplify her so she had already raised 4 children homeschooling, and she said I decided that was my ministry, and so other things could wait, basically. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure if that's completely what she said, but it really touched me, and I thought, you know what, I can figure this out. And really, you can figure it out. It's like anything in life, there are always choices, things you have to pick between. There are benefits and costs to doing anything. But I have found, like, with some thought and with some organization and with some patience with myself, that's just like one of the biggest things. Like, you don't have to have everything done. Everything doesn't have to be perfect. It's okay. You decide what your priorities are, and then you move down the list. And some things get left off, and it's okay. But as I've gotten more in the rhythm of it, there have been more things that I've been able to do than not.
Yeah.
So I think it's about finding that rhythm, being patient with yourself, obviously patience with the kids.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for being patient with me. So
yes.
With you too. So
I love the rhythm analogy. I've had somebody on here before talking about rhythm versus like perfect balance. And I love how it applies to so many different things that we do, including like homeschooling and really just finding your flow. When I started homeschooling for a minute, my friend who kind of was my little homeschooling mentor was like, give it a year. It's not going to be totally comfortable for a year, because we had already started in the public school routine. So having to kind of detox and do things differently was really tricky. But yeah, I loved everything that you said. I love the freedom with it. I've always had a love for learning, and I wanted to perpetuate that to my children. And I love that you can kind of control what they're learning and really create a passion and start to give them the focus, the individual attention on what really sparks within them.
Right. Yes.
It's the best part. And I was telling you before this, we tried it for about 3 months. Uh-huh. And we were only doing it with one of our kids, our oldest. Our middle child was still in preschool, and he just loved the socialization of preschool. So we let him stay in there. But it's definitely on the table for future. We were trying to grow a business and grow a homeschooling like life at the same time. Multiple businesses. It was a little bit crazy.
Yes, that is a lot to do.
Yeah.
All at the same time.
Yes.
Like little things.
Yeah. Exactly. And eventually the timeline will be so much more. There's never perfect timing for anything, and nothing's ever perfect. But just to be able to have the financial freedom to do the homeschooling, I'm really excited to take them around the world and teach them things firsthand. That's my biggest desire with homeschooling.
Yes. We're excited to do that too. My husband is an entrepreneur. He's an attorney, but he has his own business, and we're within the next little while we'll start doing some traveling with him. We have land actually up in Alaska.
Oh my gosh!
So we have it's really cool. My husband's family, they are Alaska lovers, and they have this organic farm on the ocean there. They grow organic peas and organic vegetables, and we have a little slice of heaven in the form of 5 acres right by the ocean there. So our goal is to kind of go back and forth. We're in Utah, so go back and forth between Alaska and there, and then as the opportunities come, to travel a bit. And that just makes me like so joyful to think about that, and that we have the opportunity to create that.
Yes. I love that. It does. How could it not make you happy? I think that sounds so heavenly. And that's exactly, ours is maybe not Alaska. Ours is Hawaii, but
Well, yeah.
both are beautiful. I'm excited. I'm glad you mentioned Alaska because I've never gone and I really want to go. And it's one of those places that I grew up thinking was basically like Antarctica. I thought it was just frozen all the time.
Yeah.
My parents went on a cruise to Antarctica. They went on a cruise to Alaska and seeing the pictures, I was like, wait, Alaska's beautiful. I need to see Alaska.
Goodness, you do need to see Alaska. We're going there in probably about a month or so again, and we'll eventually want to spend our summers up there. But honestly, like there is nothing more pristine. Like the air is so clear, and there are trees, so you get like the ocean air, and then the birch. The birch is like the trees that grow there, and they smell so good.
Oh man!
And the sky, and looking out over the ocean from the property, you can see 3 glaciers there, and it's just this little bay. And it is honestly, like I go up there and I just feel like anything is possible. And my kids are like, we're always talking about Alaska, and they have his parents have several greenhouses there, so we go and we pick the produce there, and it is honestly, it is a slice of heaven, and I feel just blessed to be able to partake a little bit of it. But
so how about we do this like little split? You can come stay with me in Hawaii. I'll come stay with you in Alaska.
That sounds great, because Hawaii, I've been wanting to get there too. I haven't been in a while. So yes, it's a deal.
See, guys, this is why you start podcasts, so you can make friends from all over. You can make these really fun travel plans.
Yes. Oh man.
I love it. I really do love the time freedom that it creates for you, and just I can tell just by talking to you for a few minutes that you're an amazing mom to your kids. And I know that there's this like super amazing fulfillment that comes with homeschooling, because it is natural to want to be with your children. And I think a lot of us, and I'm not saying it's bad to want to break from your kids, but
you need a little time away. I think that's an important thing. Yes.
Right. But it's so natural we spend more time without them in our daily life, in the scope of their whole lifetime, than we spend with them. And I, for one, just wanted to cherish all of that. Even though they drive me super crazy sometimes, it's just, you're only little, like every day you're older, and every day we're closer to you, like leaving me. And so why not cherish that instead of them gone, like most of the day?
I love that aspect of it. I feel like this is just I just feel it's a sacred time, like a sacred time with them. Like they're so sweet and so good. And like you said, sometimes there are those trying moments too. But I feel like if I, as their mom, can't learn how to figure that out, how is someone who is getting paid and will only be there a short period of time do better than I will? I'm invested in these kids for the long haul. And so, yeah, it's some sacrifice and stuff, but I feel my heart feels fulfilled in it. Like you said, it really does.
Well, anything hard usually comes with really great reward. Like there's so much fulfillment that comes from doing something that might be challenging or might be a sacrifice of time or sometimes patience, just you really lose a little bit of my really good friend who does homeschooling, she doesn't have that little like loop of free time that I have. And it's not even free time. It's just that break where I can focus on other things. And she's still trying to balance all the same things that I'm trying to balance as far as running a business from home. And I can't imagine how she gets through every single day, but I know that she's fulfilled at the end of the day. I know that she truly has conviction that she's doing the best thing for her children. And I think that's the most important. No matter what your choice is or preference on how you're schooling them, it's that conviction and knowing that you're doing what's best.
Yep, I agree. I totally agree with that.
So tell me about your Instagram feed a little bit.
Oh, I don't know. I love to share just little stuff about our school, our days, because I guess that's what my life is right now. That's what I do, so that's what I have to share. But it's so fun. I think it's just a fun, creative outlet. I love to, I love to take pictures, and I'm learning more about that whole thing, which is it's just kind of a fun outlet. I think it's important for for kids to see their moms or their dads do things that they love, and that helps them get inspiration for, like, oh, this is what I love. This is my passion or whatever. Or maybe it's something that's the same or maybe something different. But anyway, so it's a fun outlet for me. Yeah, I don't know. I just enjoy that. I do a little blog, and that's just really fun to me. I felt there's a lot of fulfillment for me in writing, like writing things down. I think it helps me to articulate, even like to myself, which sounds kind of funny. Like, this is what I learned from this, or this is, how I want to become, or what I envision for this. And so it's just been, I don't know, it's just kind of a fun outlet, and way to record stuff. So
I love it. And what's your handle over there?
Eliz H. Riley.
Okay. And you have another one too, right? Scripture Light?
We work on scripture with Jessica Harmon.
Oh, that's right. It's a collaborative one. Yep.
Yes, with Jessica, and then Mickey Platt. We've got her just recently. Do you know Mickey?
Mickey, yes, we went to high school together, and she was my wedding photographer.
You did. I think we're from the same place then.
I'm sure that we are. I need to have her on the podcast.
She's wonderful.
She really is. That's so cool. I love it. This isn't a religious podcast, but I love bringing that in because there's so much of motherhood that requires faith. And whether that's faith in God or whatever, I don't know. I think most listeners here are not offended by talking about faith and all of those things that make us stronger, because I don't know how we can really get through it without that.
Yeah, I agree. And that has been such a fulfilling project to work on for that reason, because it's, what we try and talk about is just kind of everyday things, like how, specifically as women and as mothers, how we can live, fulfilled lives, how we confront difficulties. We have this little thing we try and do about, I don't know, a few times a month or so, called the Women of Light. And it's where women, we ask them to kind of share an experience that was difficult for them. And it has been so interesting. It's been so enlightening to me to realize that everybody has hard stuff. That I'm not the only one that has difficult things. And these women, I am just amazed at their strength, and their faith in helping them get through tough things. And it's just fun to hear how God blesses them, how they are strengthened through their difficult times, so that we're not discouraged or wallowing in the tough stuff, but we can elevate our vision and really be happy in our lives.
I love that.
It's been fun. I really enjoy doing that, and I love working with Mickey and with Jessica. Jessica, I have known for ages and ages, and anyway, it's wonderful.
That's so great. It's kind of similar to the mission here. Like, we're not on here to share all hard things, but there's such a good variety, and realizing that there's probably somebody who's been through something very similar, if not the exact same struggle. Mm-hmm. And it helps us feel more normal, which I think is just a security. It's a sense of security. And it's just comforting to know that we're not alone. So I love that. So awesome. I'm glad you guys have created that. I'm excited. I do follow it, and I love it. I love having positive, uplifting things in my feed, no matter what feed that is. It's so important to have that, because it can become such a negative space of comparison and jealousy and whatever. And having uplifting things that just put you right in that focus of, this is what matters. Like, this is why I'm here. This is what makes me feel good. This is what I should be looking at. I love that. So thank you.
Absolutely. So it's fun. I agree. I'm with you on that. There's so many wonderful, positive things out there that help to ground me and remind me. Yeah. And I need that.
Yes, I know. We all need that a little bit in our lives. Okay, so what are you reading right now?
Let's see. Okay, well, we're just in the middle of a move, and so I have put away the books, and I've been on Audible, which
it's the best.
I'm like late to the game on that one, but that one's seriously the best. So I've actually been re-listening to one of my very favorite books of all time. It's called How Will You Measure Your Life by Clayton Christensen.
Ooh.
I don't know if you've ever, I love that. He, first of all, he's just a brilliant man. I studied business in school, so I have a love for business. So he basically takes he's a professor at Harvard. Just to give a little background about him, but he gives analogies, or he has like these theories that work in business and work on a personal level. So he talks a lot about, I mean, basically the summary of the book is the title, How Will You Measure Your Life? So it's helps you figure out, what are the things that are really important? Like when it's all said and done, what will you look back and be happy that you did or didn't do? And then he talks about different things, like basically different steps to take to be able to get to where you want to be able to look back on your life. He describes it as like you will be the one who will measure how your life was and how fulfilled you feel from your life. Anyway, I'm like a silly person because I have to read books like several times. There are certain books that I just want to read over and over. That's one of them. So I've listened to it, I think this is going to sound silly, but like 3 times while I'm packing boxes.
That's not silly. You need
digest it.
Yeah. It's like if that makes you feel good and it puts you in a really good place, why not listen to something again and again? We watch stupid movies over and over again. Why don't we listen to good books? Of course.
Yeah. So it's just been, it's a good refocus. It's one that I like to listen to periodically or read periodically. My husband and I both love it. And like it really has been a real big influence for us in decision making and like, work stuff, just a lot of how we do homeschool stuff, like everything. Like, and I it's, if business isn't your thing, don't give up if, he's talking about a kind of a business case or whatever, because it comes back on a personal level. And anyway, I'm I'm kind of a nerd with that, but I love it.
You're in the right place. You're in good company. I'm excited to go read that. I'm literally like going to go download that. I need to reactivate my Audible because I got a little crazy and I couldn't even keep up with my books. So I'll add that in.
Okay, I'll have to let you know what I think, but I love that one. I think it's just a great book. So so that's what I'm listening to again, actually.
Cool. I love it. And then I ask all of my guests, favorite question, what makes you a marvelous mom?
I think that I'm okay with doing something hard, knowing that I want to look back and know that I gave my heart and soul to mothering these children that I've been blessed with, and that I'll make mistakes, and I do make mistakes, but that I've given my heart. And so that's what I can give. So I guess that's it.
I love it. That's such a fun question to answer, isn't it? You're like, I think that's the end. Did I pass the test? No, I love that answer. I think it's beautiful. I think you're a beautiful soul. I'm so grateful to you for being on here, sharing a little bit of who you are, your passion, your motherhood, all of it. It's just my favorite thing. It's uplifted my day.
Well, thank you so much, Kirsten. It's been a pleasure and great to talk with you. Really great to meet you too.
Good. We'll have to connect. We'll figure out how we were connected after we finish the episode.
Okay. That sounds good.
All right, everybody else listening, have a marvelous day and we'll see you on the next episode. Please tell me I'm not the only one who doesn't enjoy spending hours at the makeup counter or even on the makeup aisles at Target. If you are like me and you struggle and you feel like makeup should be fun and not stressful and overwhelming, then you need to check out Mascara Beauty. I am obviously a huge advocate for mascara. It's one of my favorite companies in the entire world. It's my favorite makeup line, and it has saved my life. I can do my makeup while I'm in the line for carpool. I can do it in under 5 minutes. So if you want to learn more about mascara, go to marvelousmascara.com to check it out.